I guess we will just slowly begin and we'll see if someone else pops in.
That sounds
so as you know, this is Linköping University in Sweden, and we have 3 of the 4 faculties present today. My name is Kirsten Hawkins and I present the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. And I have 2 colleagues here. Would you like to say who you are also, please?
Yes, my name is Lisa. I work for the Faculty of Arts and Science. And if you wonder what belongs to Faculty of Arts and Science, it's everything else. So not belonging to medicine and health science or being part of some kind of engineering or natural sciences or this kind of things.
And I'm Claudia Schmid, and I work at the Faculty of Science and Engineering. So we have all the programs to do with engineering and the natural sciences.
Right. And I will begin and show you and tell you a little bit about Sweden, the country of Sweden, in case you don't know much about it. Maybe you do, but that's still okay. Sweden is a very small country. You can see it here in purple. And it's about, it doesn't look to scale on this page, but it's supposed to be about the size of California, I'm told, aerial-wise. And when it comes to Sweden, we have a lot of different provinces, as you can see here in all the different colors. It's a small country. We have a lot of space, not a lot of people. We do have a strong competitive economy. And let me see, I just need to do that. With a very strong academic culture. And there is lots of technology and innovation in our country in spite of the smallness of us. We are big on environmentalism. What might be interesting to know is in the northwestern part of Sweden, it's almost only forest. So about 65% of the total land area is just forest. And in the rest, more to the south and on the east coast, it's more populated. One thing that's interesting to know about education is that all education in Sweden is free all the way through university. So we don't pay any tuition fees at all. However, if you come to Sweden from outside of Europe, you normally have to pay tuition fees, but not if there is an agreement, of course, between the universities, like in our case with you. Also, something that's good for the Swedish students is that they get both a stipend and a loan from the Swedish government to finance their studies. So it's rather easy to be a student that way. Not all the students, or actually far from all the students, work or have to work to support themselves. So that might be interesting. This may be a person that you recognize. Her name is, in Swedish, I say this now very Swedish, Greta Thunberg. And she is a young Swedish woman who is very much into environmentalism, as you know. And Fridays for the Future started actually in Stockholm. But we also have other celebrities, of course. Alfred Nobel, who started the Nobel Prize. We have a very famous soccer player that people that do know soccer might recognize, Zlatan. He played all over the place in big European soccer teams. And this is, of course, ABBA. Everyone, I think, regardless of age, will recognize ABBA. We also have Avicii, who is, of course, no longer with us, but he was Swedish. And this guy, PewDiePie, YouTuber, he's Swedish as well. So sometimes you don't even realize that these people are Swedish, but they are. And for such a small country with just about 10 million inhabitants, we do have a lot of famous brands, many of which you see here in front of you. Spotify, Skype, IKEA, Absolute Vodka, all those are very, very famous, and they are Swedish. And it's very common for Swedish companies to expand internationally quickly since we are such a small country. And I'm not going to go into more information about those particular companies because I think it speaks for themselves. And we even have some very famous inventions even, and this is something that may even sometimes be a surprise to Swedish people. The match is a Swedish invention, dynamite. The zipper is actually both an American and a Swedish invention, but that's a good thing. These Tetra packs that you put milk and whatever in are Swedish. The pacemaker is Swedish. And also the wrench is a Swedish, which is, we should be proud of these things, I think. And then let's move on to the next page. This is just to show you that the Swedish weather is definitely, we have 4 seasons, and the one on the right, to the right below corner there, I think right now it should look like that here, but it doesn't. We have like a spring day today in Sweden, so that's very unusual. But I think you also get cold weather in Virginia sometimes, so that shouldn't be completely strange to you. But not everyone has the 4 seasons, so we wanted to show you that as well. This is something that you would have to learn if you come to Sweden. The word Fika, it means coffee break. And that's something that Swedish people love above everything else. Every workplace, all the students, they all have their fikas, one in the morning between breakfast and lunch and one in the afternoon. It just has to happen. So you don't really have an option but to learn it. And of course, we love pastries, cinnamon buns, and other things that you absolutely will find in most cafes and shops everywhere. Waffles are very important, and this is a particular bun that we call semla, which is really good. We eat it around fasting time in February and March. So we'll just move on here. When it comes to food, I think if anyone has ever been to IKEA, which we showed you before, maybe the closest one to you is in Pittsburgh. I don't know. You don't have one real close, I think, to Morgantown. Yeah. But you will have found meatballs, right?
Yes.
and probably also herring. And so these are very typical Swedish foods, but we eat lots of different things, not just that. So don't despair if you don't like herring. There is lots of other things to eat as well. The one on the bottom right there's sour herring, surströmming. That's one definitely experienced you probably do want to miss, to be honest, but you really shouldn't miss it just because it's so weird and strange. We have a YouTube link we can share with you, and it's right there in that picture, which is very funny when people actually open these cans, and it's out of this world, to be honest. So if you haven't seen that, it's very funny. Let's see, I will move on, and I think I will hand over to you now, Lisa, right?
Yes, thank you, Kerstin, for this introduction to Sweden and the culture we are living in. Now, if we speak about more hard facts about the city of Linköping, for Swedish standards, we are quite a big city with approximately 160,000 inhabitants. So depending on your standard, it might be a small town, but it's one of the biggest in Sweden. We are located about 2 hours by train from Stockholm, and if you take the train down south, you will be in Copenhagen about 3.5 hours as well. So it's a good connection by train. The city is known for companies like Saab Aeronautics, so they are building the fighting planes here. And depending on where you live in the city, you will have them flying over your head all day long. So I live in an area close to the military airport, and I hear them flying all day, which is somehow nice and somehow very disturbing. We have Ericsson here in Linköping as well, and Sectra and other big companies. So, and I wanted to show you a couple of pictures of Linköping University, or Linköping City. So here is a short film from the municipality of Linköping. Let's hope it will work to show the video. No, there's a technical issue maybe. In the meantime, while we are trying to get the video running, maybe Kennedy and Kaylee, could you write your major and what you are studying, or what subject areas you would be interested in studying abroad into the chat, just so that we know, and maybe so that we can give you some more information about our course offer in the specific study areas.
So I couldn't tell that it wasn't showing, but I will do it in a different way.
Biology and international studies, that's a good combination.
Here. So sorry about that, and I will let it go again, and hopefully this will work.
So we just need the sound as well.
You can't hear it?
No.
Okay.
You don't hear the sound?
No.
That's odd.
Okay, but maybe we just move on to
yeah,
the
let's
slide.
skip the
So Kennedy
film.
is a business major, a global supply chain management, possibly minoring in global business. Interesting. Good. So we just so you miss out the video, but we can send you the link as well. It's online, so you can get some information.
That's better. Let's do it that way, and we'll just continue on with the next slide instead.
Exactly. So here you can see a couple of pictures of the two cities, Linköping and Norrköping, and why we put two different cities is because I will show you later on more on the campuses, but Linköping University is not only in Linköping, but also in Norrköping. So as I said before, we are small towns, not too big ones, but with everything that you need. So if you come to Linköping or to Norrköping, you will have everything that you need. A social, rich cultural life, good student life, and everything that is needed for a student. And if you want to visit one of the big cities, then of course you can take the train. The pictures also show you that it's totally different architecture that we are living in. So if you look at the left upper corner, you see these typical Swedish red houses, and this is next to the campus Valla in Linköping, where we have actually stables with horses in these the types of houses, directly close to the university. On the right-hand side, you see part of Campus Norrköping, and you see it also behind me. So this picture is from Campus Norrköping, which is a totally different city with an old industry city where the old buildings, textile industry building, were renovated and now host the Linköping University Campus Norrköping. On Campus Valla, you see the big square thingy house in the middle of the pictures. And this is our newest building on Campus Valla. It was opened only recently last year, and it's the new student house for all students. So it includes the library, for instance, and restaurants, a cafe, study places, and the student service desk. So this is the place to go and study for all students. And what I also wanted to stress here is that we are going by bike. So when you come to Linköping as an exchange student, your first stop will be to go to get your keys for your accommodation, and then you will go to a shop or get in contact with someone to buy a second-hand bike, because that's the way we move around in Linköping. And I go by bike, everyone goes by bike, even in winter time, even when it's snowy. So you have to be a bit careful, and we recommend helmets as well. But this is how we move. So the city is so close that you go by from the student area or the accommodation to the campus is about 10 minutes by bike. And then from the campus, it's about 10-15 minutes downtown. So depending on where you're going and where you're living, you might need to go by bike for 20 minutes to do stuff, but that's the way we do. And we have a very good system of bicycle lanes all around the city. So you're not on the roads together with the cars, but you have your separate road to bicycle on. Yes, and Linköping University. We are a quite young university. We are only founded in 1975. And I told you about the campuses earlier, that in Norrköping, we have this old buildings being renovated to be part of Norrköping campus. In Linköping, you have the oldest building from the university being from the 70s. And then we have been growing and growing and growing. So we have buildings from the 70s until last year. We started and were a very innovative university. So we started first university in Sweden to implement the problem-based learning. So coming to Linköping University will mean for you to be a lot in groups, student groups, to work with cases. You will not be sitting on your own and studying and just listening to the teacher and then writing an exam, but you will work together with other students in smaller groups and solve problems. We also have interdisciplinary approaches in many courses, so that we are looking at problems from different angles and trying to work together in different subject areas. And we are quite big for a Swedish university. We are approximately 32,000 students and 4,000 employees. And as I said before, we are located on 4 different campuses. The biggest one is in Campus Valla, and depending on your subject area, but business and biology, this is Campus Valla. Norrköping has a couple of programs. It's a minor campus than Valla. And then for students within the medicine and health science, we have an own campus at downtown Linköping at the University Hospital as well. And then we have a very small campus in Lidingö in Stockholm, which only hosts furniture design and upholstering. So this is only, I think, 70 students. It's very cozy. And I always recommend every student coming to Linköping University, no matter which campus he or she is on, to travel between the cities, to just at least go and visit the other cities. Because there's a campus bus going between the different cities, and it's for free for all Linköping University students. So you can go and at least have a look around. Yes, and this leads over to my field, which is Faculty of Arts and Science. As I said in the beginning, at Arts and Science, we have all the rest. So we have media productions, for instance. We have computational social science and statistics. We are very strong in business studies and economics. We have political science, international relations. It's a mixture. What we have here in Arts and Science, it's very broad. When you will come to Linköping University as an exchange student, you will choose one of the faculties where you will study at. So a combination of biology and international studies. You will most probably need to choose either biology, which will be located at the Faculty of Science and Engineering, or international studies, which we would be at Arts and Science. it is hard to combine courses from the different faculties. Yes. Claudia.
All right, this is my field. This is the Faculty of Science and Engineering. Like you can see on the slide, there's lots of engineering programs and courses. There's a very broad span of fields and subjects, but we do offer courses in biology, chemical biology, and engineering biology, but we have other subjects too. We have IT and computer sciences, we have mechanical engineering, we have mathematics, we have physics, so all kinds of, more engineering focused programs and natural science focused programs. And most of them are situated on campus Valla, but we do have classes on campus Norrköping as well. So, but as Lisa said, most of the biology ones are also in Linköping campus Valla. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the slide for the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. And we have a number of professional study programs: medicine, nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology. And we also have biomedical laboratory science. And most exchanges that we do involve clinical placements. And you can see all the different areas on the right side that we can actually offer clinical placements within. So it's quite a few. And then some programs also offer thesis courses. And we have 2 programs that are completely taught in English. The only and first bachelor level program at Linköping University, experimental and industrial biomedicine program, is at our faculty. And we have also an advanced level program in the same field, experimental and medical biosciences. We don't have a lot of, besides for those 2 programs, we don't have a lot of specific exchange courses. So like I said before, most students do come for clinical placements to our faculty. And we will move on.
Yes, I'm going to talk to you a bit about student life and what it's like to be an incoming exchange student at LiU now. And here you can see some services we have for our incoming exchange students. So we're so happy that you're coming, of course, if you're coming. And for all the ones that are arriving in Sweden, we have different kinds of services. So there's a pickup service from the airport if people need a ride. We have the international office. They can help with an info package. They will help you with more practical issues. And there's peer student programs if you want to just have a friend here in Sweden, a student here at Linköping University. We can match you with another student. You can practice some Swedish, or we can just like show you around. There are Swedish courses as well. We can study some Swedish, and we have an orientation program at each faculty as well, where you get to know more about your courses and what's going to happen. So we have the international office. They can help you with more practical issues. They are situated in at Linköping, Campus Valla, at least. They're in the big building cube. While then you also have like the academic coordinators like Lisa and me and Kerstin, and we can help you with more academic questions. And we also have a slide about accommodation, Kaja. Yes, so if you're coming to Linköping University, you can also apply for accommodation through the university, which might be very relevant to you who cannot just like pop over or like have more difficulties finding accommodation from abroad. So you're almost guaranteed a room if you apply at Linköping University for exchange studies. And we have some pictures here what a room would look like. So every student has like their own room and their own bathroom. And what we call like a corridor. So you will share sort of apartment-like corridor with other students. You will share the kitchen and a living room, but you will have your own sleeping and study space. So they're about 20 square meters and about 8 rooms in one of these corridors. And most of them are very close to university. So you can either walk or take a bike. And all in all, accommodation and other costs, the living cost for students here is about $900 per month. Yes. We also have organized group activities. We have different kinds of organizations here at campus at the university that take care of our international students. We have the Erasmus Student Network. They were sort of created due to the Erasmus program, which is a program for European students, but it's basically for international students. And they arrange trips and games and pub crawls and all kinds of activities for all the international students to join. We also have the Association for International Visitors. They also arrange different events and dinners and information events to welcome you and to show you about Linköping, about Östergötland and Sweden. And then there's also the ISA, the International Student Association. So international students here at Linköping have formed an association, and they also arrange different kinds of activities. So there's always something happening for our international students, and like a broad range of activities and trips to other parts of Sweden, other cities. We have a very popular Lapland trip if you want to check out the very, very north and see all the snow and the northern lights. So we have we offer all kinds of things so you can get to know Swedish culture. And yeah, we have generally a vibrant student life. Linköping has been voted like the best student city in Sweden regularly. So we have different events. We have a very popular Freshers Week, an orientation week with lots of crazy stuff happening on campus, people dressing up and having games and welcoming the new students. It's also very exciting. There are different clubs, as I mentioned, for international and other students. There are welcoming events. There's a big, what we call kalas, where we also welcome everyone. It's a big fair. We get to know all different kinds of clubs at the university. There is a NerdCon for all those who love cosplay games and all kinds of stuff happening once a year as well. We have stuff and other festivals surrounded like all about music. We have an international market in Linköping that doesn't have to do with student life, but there's stuff happening both on campus and in Linköping. Yes. And I think that's the end of our presentation. So here are some like useful links. There's our exchange website, and then like our email addresses where you can get in touch with the faculties. So the first one is for the Faculty of Science and Engineering. The second one is for the Faculty of Arts and Science, and the last email address is if you want to get in touch with the medical faculty. I think that's it.
Yes, that's it. That's the end. I will stop the share now so we can see each other again. And we are open for questions, if anyone has any questions.
Megan, what are your majors, or what's your major, and what are you interested in studying abroad?
Hi there. I actually work for WVU's.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Sorry, I popped in a bit late. I was jumping over from a different session. But thank you so much for presenting. It was like the presentation I caught was great. Absolutely love that you ride bikes around campus, since I absolutely love cycling around West Virginia.
Yeah, it's a little tough sometimes here on campus because there's so many hills in our town, in Morgantown. So we do have rail trails that are relatively flat, but getting around town is a little challenging because it is so hilly. And so riding a bike sometimes is really challenging. And they had talked about getting those scooters, you know, the electric scooters that a lot of, they talked about having them here, but they just won't work because they can't get up hills.
No.
So, I do have a question about classes and how they're structured. You know, generally here classes are like 50 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes. Graduate classes are close to 3 hours. Is that a similar thing there, or how are class times structured? How many times during the week might you go? Stuff like that. So
I think we need to present three different answers here because we are very differently organized when it comes to the different faculties that we're having here at Linköping University. And I can speak for Faculty of Arts and Science and also for the Faculty of Educational Science, where all the teacher education is located. So what we have is we normally have like 2 hours teaching seminars. What we do with our courses is that they are there might be a lecture 2 hours a week, and then there are seminars maybe 1 a week. So if students come here from other countries, they might be shocked because their schedule is very empty. They might only be in class 6 or 8 hours a week. But that doesn't mean that they don't have to study, because we require them to do a lot of reading on their own. And then also, as I said before, we are working a lot in student groups. So they will need to sit and write papers, prepare presentations in these student groups. And it takes a lot of time. So even if they only are in class maybe 6 to 8 hours a week, they will work 40 hours a week. What we also do at Arts and Science is that we only have one course at a time. So we have sequential courses. For regular students, it would be that they take 4 courses during one semester, meaning that they have 5 weeks of one course, and then they are finished with that course with an exam. Either it's a presentation, or it's a paper, or it's a written exam, and then they will start a new course. So they will totally focus on one issue during the entire 5 weeks.
Okay.
Do you want to go, Claudia, and explain how you do it? Because it's quite different at your faculty.
Yes, and this is why we cannot combine courses in the different faculties, because we are organized in such a different way.
Okay.
So at the Faculty of Science and Engineering, your schedule will be a bit fuller, maybe a bit less empty than at the Faculty of Arts and Science. So we schedule our students' days more. So most of your classes or seminars or group works will be scheduled. There's not that much self-study time, or it will be also scheduled in like group works. Or so we have a sort of special way of constructing your timetable and your study plan. So we do have courses given at the same time. So students usually take like 2, 3, maybe even 4 courses at the same time. But we do have like 2 study periods, like a first study period and a second study period, and courses usually just last 1 study period. So only like about 4 or 5 weeks. And then there's an exam break period, and then there's another study period where you then take 2, 3 classes as well at the same time, depending on how many classes you took during the first study period. But yeah, it will be just as much work, but much more scheduled.
Okay.
And at our faculty, the Medicine and Health Sciences, it's completely different again. We are solely based our education on problem-based learning. So all of our courses are semester long for all the different programs. And within those semester long courses, we have lots of different modules. We don't do as much lecture-wise teaching. It's more tutorial groups where the students are supposed to find the answers themselves. They don't have someone telling them. It's definitely not the traditional style. And we, of course, also have lectures in some regard, but not at all as much as the other faculties. And then lots of seminars, lots of group work, and of course, for all the professional degrees, lots of clinical time. And our university has one of the highest amounts of hours when it comes to clinical practice, actually, even in Sweden. It's very well known for that. So it's not your traditional study style, but in the case we do have lectures, they are typically about the same length as you talked about before. Yes.
How long is a semester?
It's 20 weeks.
20 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Lisa, for you, it might be 4 classes, 5 weeks for each class, correct?
Exactly. So they will start when coming for autumn, it would be from end of August to mid-January. Hi, Vanessa. And then they would have one course starting in August and ending in end of September. The next course would start end of September and go until end of October, something like that. So it's always 5 weeks. So what they could do in addition to having these courses being organized that way, these are the heavy courses, like the major courses where you have, for instance, the business courses. That would be 5 weeks each course. What I always recommend every exchange student is to at least take the Swedish language course, which would be a part-time course during the entire semester, so that you get to know a bit of the language, so that you do buy milk and not yogurt in the store, but also that you get to know a bit of the culture and understand more of this. This is Fika time, and this is how we do it, and how you drink your coffee, and this is part of being an exchange student as well, I would say.
Okay. That's important. Learn those times during the day to take your breaks.
Exactly. That's what we tell the exchange students. Like, if someone asks you to drink coffee, you never say no.
See, Vanessa, I'm right about taking those breaks in the morning, like at 10 and then in the afternoon and walking away. See, I should have grown up in Europe. Seriously. Why?
There's even a YouTube video that you can search for about the Swedish Fika. It's very funny. 2 Swedish guys singing and showing all kinds of pastries and whatnot. It's very hilarious, actually.
Excellent. So, Claudia, with your courses, it might be 5 weeks, but you might take 2 or 3 courses at that time, and you'll have a lot more time in class and not as much time outside of class that you have to be finishing work. So in a typical semester, how many courses might you get through for engineering?
Our courses are pretty much every course is about 6 credits. And we expect students to take 30 credits because that's full-time studies. And in order to get the visa, you need to have 30 credits in your study plan. So that's about 5 courses for each student. But we also recommend the Swedish class, which is like 7.5 credits. And that runs through the whole semester. So, but all other classes only take a few weeks, and then like one study period. It's like half the semester.
Okay.
So yeah, about 2 to 3 courses for each study period, and about 5 for each semester.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. Those are my questions. Anybody else? Megan, Vanessa, Kaylee, do you guys have any questions?
I'm at an advantage. They answered all my questions when I visited last September.
Oh yeah, that's right. We met. I recognize you now, Vanessa.
I would like to visit. I'm just saying, I would like to visit.
You're more than welcome anytime. Well, after COVID is over, I guess.
Pandemic is over, I would like, but I might say that I might not come home, to be honest with you, because people that ride bikes are my people. So
yeah, bike-friendly cities.
Yes.
So I ride when we are in the office, sometime in the future when we get back there again, Vanessa will tell you that I ride my bike to work every day. It's about 1.5 miles on the road. So, yeah. So,
yeah.
So Kaylee, do you have any questions that you might want to ask while we have a chance? You can type them in if you want to.
It says, I think I'm good in the chat, so that's fine.
Okay.
But
Megan,
thank you very much for listening, Megan. Yeah.
No, I think you answered all of my questions of the presentation, because I was going to ask about like student transportation between different buildings and student housing, and you went over all of that.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
All right then.
Yeah, always welcome to send us an email if there are any questions. Just get back to us. with the
Yes.
questions.